Soft female voice, calm but with tension. She still kisses you goodnight, but something feels off, doesn't it? The warmth's gone, her eyes flicker too fast, her phone suddenly has secrets it never used to. You can't prove it, but your gut whispers what your mind refuses to accept. Something changed. And tonight, I'm going to tell you exactly how women hide cheating and the psychology behind the masks they wear when they're living a double life. Because the truth is, women rarely get caught because they don't act like men when they cheat. Men slip, they leave traces. Women plan, they blend emotion and logic so flawlessly that even the most intelligent man doubts his instincts. But that doubt, that hesitation, is the weapon she counts on. The first psychological trick is emotional redirection. When she's hiding something, she subtly redirects your focus. She'll start small, asking about your day more often, touching you more affectionately, initiating conversations she once ignored. It feels like she's re-engaged, but it's not connection, it's control. She's managing your perception. By acting more caring, she blinds you to the inconsistencies starting to form in her behavior. Then comes the second move, selective vulnerability. Out of nowhere, she'll open up emotionally, maybe cry, talk about her stress, or share something that makes you feel protective again. Why? Because vulnerability diffuses suspicion. It disarms you. A man in protector mode stops investigating. He starts empathizing. She knows this. It's a subconscious manipulation, not always malicious, but deeply effective. Here's what you need to understand. Cheating isn't always physical. It's psychological first. The moment she disconnects from you emotionally, but keeps you emotionally attached, she gains all the control. And once she has that control, deception becomes easier, even natural. If you've ever felt like you were losing grip on the truth, if something inside you screams that her kindness feels staged, don't ignore it. The human brain detects deception faster than it can explain it. Trust that instinct, because in most cases, by the time a man starts asking, is she hiding something, she already is. You see, when a woman starts hiding infidelity, she doesn't just lie. She rebuilds her personality around the lie. Her words, her tone, even her body language subtly evolve to support the illusion. And the genius of it lies in this. She'll make you question your own perception before she ever lets you question hers. That's the third psychological trick. Gaslight through calmness. She won't yell or argue. She'll stay composed. When you notice a strange text or a sudden change in schedule, she'll respond with steady eyes and a gentle voice, saying something like, "You're overthinking again." The calmness creates contrast. It makes you feel like the emotional one, like the problem is your paranoia. The more you question her, the more she acts rational, and that imbalance slowly eats away at your confidence. And then there's strategic inconsistency. She'll tell partial truths, fragments of honesty, mixed with tiny lies. Maybe she really did go to lunch with a friend, but leaves out which friend. Maybe the gym session happened, just not at the time she said. These half-truths create a believable pattern that your brain struggles to decode, because humans are wired to fill in gaps with trust, and she knows that. But here's what almost no one tells you. Women who hide cheating often overcompensate with stability. She'll make sure bills are paid, her appearance is sharp, routines are followed. That's because familiarity breeds safety, and she needs you to feel safe while she quietly detaches. Her goal isn't chaos, it's camouflage. Watch her eyes when you ask simple questions, not when you accuse, but when you're calm. The pupils, the micro-expressions, the way she exhales before speaking, the body reacts before the brain edits the lie. You'll sense it, but she'll counter with warmth, with care, with just enough affection to pull you back in. Understand this. She doesn't cheat because of you. She cheats because of something inside her, an emptiness, an ego boost, a thrill, or even revenge. But once she starts, she becomes addicted, not to the affair, but to the power of secrecy. That feeling of control over two worlds is intoxicating. Now let's talk about one of the most dangerous illusions, emotional projection. When a woman starts cheating, she subconsciously projects her guilt onto you. It begins subtly. She accuses you of being distant. She asks if you're hiding something. She might even imply that you are the one who's losing interest, What she's really doing is easing her internal pressure by pushing that guilt outward. If you're on the defensive, she feels safe. If you're busy explaining yourself, she doesn't have to explain herself. And here's the sinister part. This isn't always conscious. Many women convince themselves that you changed first. It's a psychological defense called cognitive dissonance, the mind's way of reconciling a moral conflict. She can't see herself as the bad one, so she rewrites the story. You became cold. You stopped listening. You made her feel unseen. These narratives allow her to cheat while still feeling justified. That's not logic. That's emotional self-protection disguised as reasoning. But there's another level: routine normalization. Once she's emotionally or physically involved with someone else, she integrates deception into her daily life. She'll smile, cook, laugh, text you, "I love you," all while keeping another man's messages archived under a fake name or deleted altogether. The contrast between her actions and her reality doesn't crush her, it empowers her. The ability to maintain duality becomes her new identity. You'll notice something strange. She stops getting irritated by the small things that used to bother her. That's not growth, it's distraction. Her emotional energy is divided, and the new attention she's getting soothes her. She's calmer, lighter, maybe even more confident, and you'll take that as a sign things are improving. But in truth, that peace comes from someone else validating her ego. The reason this deception hurts men so deeply isn't just the betrayal, it's that you never saw the switch flip. One day she was yours, and the next, she was performing the role of yours while emotionally belonging to someone else. You can't track the transition because it doesn't happen in one moment. It happens in layers, over weeks, through dozens of small choices that blend into one silent storm. And by the time you finally wake up, she's already rehearsed her exit. Here's the most painful truth most men never see coming. Women don't hide cheating by disappearing. They hide it by staying exactly the same. That's the fourth psychological trick: mirrored consistency. She'll keep her patterns identical to what you know. Same perfume, same girls' night, same tone in her good morning texts. She mirrors her old self so precisely that you question your sanity before her honesty. Why does this work? Because humans detect change, not sameness. When everything looks familiar, your brain relaxes. That's what she counts on, your attachment to routine. She uses predictability as protection. You think stability means loyalty, but in her world, stability means invisibility. Then comes the empathy shield. When a woman hides betrayal, she often doubles down on care. She'll comfort you, compliment you, or even initiate intimacy just to blur the emotional line. You feel desired again, but what's really happening is guilt management. It's not affection, it's anesthesia. She's numbing her conscience by making you feel loved. And it works, because a man starved for reassurance will accept any version of it, even if it's counterfeit. But here's the subtle giveaway: the rhythm changes. Not the tone, not the routine, the rhythm. Her availability feels slightly rehearsed, her affection too balanced, her presence just a bit too polished. Real emotion is messy. When love becomes mechanical, it's because something behind it isn't real anymore. Another psychological trick she might use is controlled transparency. She'll leave her phone unlocked by accident, respond to texts in front of you, or even mention another man casually, but only in a harmless context. It's a decoy. It trains you to stop being suspicious. It makes you believe she has nothing to hide, when in fact, that act itself is the cover. You see, the smartest form of deception isn't silence, it's the illusion of honesty. The cheater, who seems too open, too calm, too perfect, often hides the deepest truth. And by the time you start noticing the cracks, she's already built an emotional alibi, a version of herself that seems incapable of doing what she's already done. That's why it breaks you so completely. Because you weren't just betrayed, you were studied. There's a moment, quiet but devastating, when you finally start to see it. You don't have proof, just patterns, a gut feeling that won't shut up. And this is where her fifth psychological trick takes hold: the reversal of guilt. She senses your suspicion before you even voice it. She feels the shift in your energy, your silence, your hesitation, your glances at her phone. And before you can question her, she flips the frame. She'll say things like, "You've been distant lately," or "Why don't you trust me anymore?" She might even cry, not from pain, but from fear of exposure. That emotional display pulls you right back into the trap. Suddenly, you're the one apologizing, the one trying to reassure her. It's emotional aikido, using your own empathy against you, because she knows that good men don't want to hurt someone they love. So she hides behind that softness. Then there's deflection through chaos. When the pressure builds too high, she'll create small conflicts, arguments about irrelevant things, distractions about your flaws or her stress. She does this to shift the emotional spotlight. It's psychological smoke. You start defending yourself, fixing problems that don't exist, while the real issue stays buried beneath the noise. And when you finally back off, she breathes easy, because conflict to her means control, not connection. But the deepest trick of all is the emotional exit before the physical one. Long before she leaves your life, she's already left your heart. You'll notice it when her laughter no longer reaches her eyes, when her hugs feel more like routine than refuge. She stops dreaming with you, stops planning, starts living in mental snapshots where you no longer exist. That's not indifference, it's emotional migration. She's building her next chapter silently while pretending to edit this one. And when she finally walks away, you'll think it happened suddenly, but it didn't. It was a slow death, hidden beneath smiles, beneath "I love yous," beneath 1,000 small lies that were meant to keep you calm while she slipped away. She never wanted confrontation. She wanted freedom without consequence. And that's the psychology of it. When guilt meets opportunity, the human mind doesn't confess. It camouflages. Now you know. You see the patterns, the calmness, the projection, the overcaring, the emotional distance disguised as peace. You see how she built her mask not out of lies, but out of your trust. That's the final psychological trick, emotional transference. After the deception is complete, she leaves you carrying the emotional weight she created. The confusion, the self-doubt, the quiet obsession with, "What did I miss?" She walks away lighter because every ounce of her guilt gets transferred to you. That's the invisible aftermath men rarely recover from. Not the loss of the woman, but the loss of reality itself. You question everything, her words, your instincts, even your worth. You replay conversations in your head, looking for red flags you ignored, moments you excused, nights she smiled while thinking of someone else. That's how psychological betrayal works. It doesn't end when she leaves. It echoes. It rewires how you love, how you trust, how you see yourself. But listen, this is where you reclaim your power. Because once you understand the psychology behind her actions, you stop personalizing them. You stop believing her choices define your value. Cheating isn't a reflection of your inadequacy. It's a reflection of her emptiness. A woman at peace doesn't need deceit to feel desired. A woman who respects herself doesn't destroy trust to feel alive. And that's the truth no one tells men. The one who betrayed you didn't win. She simply lost her ability to love honestly. You, on the other hand, still have something she no longer does, the ability to rebuild from truth. You can use this pain as fuel, not fear. You can sharpen your intuition, strengthen your boundaries, and learn to never ignore the silence between someone's words again. Because in the end, betrayal doesn't break strong men, it reveals them, it burns away illusion and leaves only what's real. You, wiser, sharper, unapologetically aware. Now tell me this, have you ever felt that gut-deep suspicion that someone you loved was hiding something, but you couldn't prove it? Tell me in the comments, I want to read your story. And if this opened your eyes even a little, like, subscribe, and share this with a friend who needs to hear it before he learns the truth the hard way.